Welcome to Impact Moment right here on DCTV. I'm Alvin Jones, and this episode includes a great interview with Dr. Amani Woody. She is the president and CEO of Mary's House for Older Adults. How are you, Dr. Woody?
I'm well, Alvin. How are you?
I am fantastic. Let's talk today about Mary's House for Older Adults and what it does for people in this community.
My dad was ill and getting older, and we needed to put him into a good nursing home, a good facility. And my pop was a middle-class guy, a preacher, upstanding community guy. So we went into one of the good facilities, and he had advocates. He had his wife, he had my wife, his grandkids, and other folks who advocate for him. And it wasn't because the people didn't like him or weren't efficient, couldn't do their job. It's just the environment of a nursing home or of assisted living facility that kind of negates your humanness. And we ended up pulling him out of that facility and taking him home, and he died at home. He left me my childhood home, which I decided with a group think to turn into Mary's House for Older Adults. And so my pop was part of the catalyst. But secondly, a guy who was part of our community, a gay white guy who lived in Bethesda or Chevy Chase. I never can get those suburbs right, but he lived in one of those suburbs. And he was found in his apartment 5 days after he died. So that means he died alone. He died without anyone knowing for 5 days. What and how? And so that had an impact on me. I'm saying, what would you do? What can we do? What can I do with this house that would aid older adults, LGBTQ, SGL, and that same gender loving older adults to live out quality, a golden life? Because my pop, he was a heterosexual guy, old guy. So what would have happened to him in this nursing facility had he been an out lesbian, an out gay man, or even an out trans person? What would have happened to his quality of life? It makes me shiver to think about that. And so on those experiences, Mary's House was born.
So what are some of the challenges for older adults who are in the LGBTQ and SGL community?
Many elders don't have kids. Like I was the person who was taking care of my dad. And who takes care of our elders? Who takes care of elder parents? Children. But if you don't have children, who takes care of you? So there is this whole concept of chosen family. So I think of family as a biological family and logical family. That's who takes care of us. And to top that off, during the AIDS epidemic, many people died. Many people lost their logical families. There's a person in my research that talks about he's lost over 100 people to the epidemic, and he has no old friends that are his peers.
I want to thank you and Mary's House for Older Adults because that connection is very important, especially in those golden years. And without you and Mary's House for Older Adults being an advocate, those people don't have the support that they need, and that support just gives them the will to make it another day.
It does. It gives us all the will to make it another day. We have purpose, right? Without purpose, what's life, kind of? The Reach Out and Touch program intentionally reaches out because people will stop calling or not call because they think they're going to be a burden, or they don't have time, or they just, you get into a place where you just, I don't know about you, but there's some days I don't want to talk to anyone. Wow. And that can happen to folks on a continual basis, and that is 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and you haven't talked to anyone. So we
Right.
intentionally keep these folks on our list. We send cards just because cards. So we have postage, we have stationery, we have, so we have all these little that are major bills, that resources that we need and have, so that we can send out and make it a wonderful, enriching day for an elder, right? It says, so Mary's House for Older Adults, the concept is communal living, family living, the kind of living that you need to be on the porch when the street lights come on living. We want to be that kind. We want communal living. So I'll knock on the door and say, Mr. Jones, how are you today? That's what's happening in Mary's House, which is a 15-room facility that is going to be built in my uh, uh, childhood home. We're talking about communal living. You'll have a small kitchenette, but you have to come out for the big stuff, for the large kitchen, the library, the computer room, all that stuff. You come out for, and you build community. And so we're the only communal living entity that's working to build this kind of housing that's communal for LGBTQ people in particular.
Dr. Woody, thank you so much for taking the time to spend with us on Impact Moment. We really appreciate what you do. We really appreciate what Mary's House for Older Adults provides. Keep up the good work. There are people right now who are watching or saying they're glad that you're here.
Thank you so much, Alvin. It's been a pleasure.
It's definitely my pleasure. For Impact Moment, I'm Alvin Jones right here on DCTV.